this up, turn this down. Edit. There we go. Should be live now. Let's see. Double check, make sure we are live. Yep. Oh. Yeah, what's up, Cody? I literally just started this. Like seconds ago. So, good evening. What is happening? Cool. What's up, Jenna? And Cody? I hope y'all can hear me pretty good. I'm trying to get my chat going. It's not wanting to go, I guess. I don't know. Jumped on the moment you saw the notification. That is awesome. Thank you. That is awesome. Well, welcome. I'm not very entertaining, but we are all here together, I guess. So we can go from there. And see what y'all got going on this evening. Let's see. I did not realize that it gave y'all a notification when I went live. I thought it just I thought it, I went live and then it just sort of showed up. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't sit. I turn it on and then it goes. I don't it goes. I'll ask you something. I have a Med Surg ATI for LPN school this Thursday. Do you have any advice? What is an ATI? I don't know what I am the worst with abbreviations. I am really bad with abbreviations. Like absolutely the worst. Is that like a test or an exam or something like that? I'm assuming it's a test since it's in LPN school this Thursday. Again, I would like to apologize because I don't know what ATI is. Maybe I should Google it. Ooh, that's bright. Med Surg ATI. Proctored exam for Med Surg 1 and 2. Wow, okay, so this is something I did not have to do, to be honest with you. Best advice for Med Surg. Med Surg is, a mixture of everything. If there's ever one thing you wanted to not be an expert in one area, but know a little bit about everything, Med Surg is the way to go. Um, Best advice as far as like what to study for the exam is they're going to want to know, like, the exam is going to be things like what to do first. It's going to be like they'll probably give you like a list of like 4 patients, and it'll say like one patient uh, doesn't remember their name, one patient has profuse bleeding, one patient has an airway obstruction, one patient has uh, hypothermia. Which one do you see first? And then you gotta like describe why you would see the one the first. But it's gonna be a lot of scenarios, a lot of things like that, and all your answers are gonna look correct, except you got to pick the most correct answer for Med Surg. Med Surg is not black and white. Um, and so I don't know. You're just gonna have to like. Hopefully, you know how your the person giving you exam, the instructor or whatever. Hopefully, you know them well enough to know what they're looking for as far as sort of how they ask their questions. Because Med Surg is just such a broad field that it could go anywhere. There's so much, but then you get to move on to OB. Fun fact: I did not get to move on to OB because when I went to school, men didn't do OB, so did not get to do that. Good luck on your test. And Med Surg 1 and 2. It's just that Med Surg is just such a big, broad area. There's no real telling to tell you exactly what they're looking for because it's going to be so much. I wish I could be better help, but Med Surg is too broad for me to really help at all, and I'm sorry about that. But I wish you the best of luck on that test. Just study the disease processes and which one would be first. Which one would be your best one first? I have a question. When do you know it's time to leave a job for another one? I can have 25 patients some nights as a tech. However, 3 travel nurses got me an interview at a hospital they are from. Whenever you feel it's time to leave the job, Cody. If you feel that you have a better opportunity out there, just go ahead and take it. I've left jobs for more money and been very unhappy with myself. And then I have stayed at a job and then been very unhappy with myself for staying at a job. And then, been upset that better opportunities presented themselves and I didn't take it. So whenever you feel it's right to leave the job, I would say if there's ever unsafe conditions, it's definitely time to leave the job. Whenever you start to feel unsafe, and then it could be like unsafe as like health wise, it could be unsafe as like your licensure. You feel like you're gonna lose your licensure at any given time. You feel like management's not gonna back you, things like that. I would say those are pretty well red flags as to it's time to leave the job. But I don't really think that there's a set, hey, now's my time to leave my job. But whenever you feel, it sounds like if you've got 3 travel nurses that's got you an interview at a hospital that they come from, it sounds like, definitely do the interview, take a look at it, see if it's right for you. And typically, hospitals are not going to have 25 patients per night on a unit. And they all come from the same unit, and the techs have 12 patients. Yeah, so you're going to have half the patient load. Probably the same, maybe not the same amount of work, but it should be a lot better. So definitely go on the interview, and it sounds like a better deal, just on paper. But we'll see. Travel nurse pay cap. So yes, travel nurse pay cap. Congress is looking into the agencies. So the rumor is, or the thought process is, and not a thing has happened at this moment in time as far as pay caps go. What did happen is during the height of the pandemic, agencies traveled 3 or 4 times as charged 3 or 4 times as much as they normally would, which they charge a bunch already to get nurses into their facilities. And so what happened is somebody high up has written to Congress, hey, y'all need to do something about this price gouging. And so the thought process is that these agencies are going to get capped. I mean, since Congress has taken a look into this, they're already probably going to get capped. And the thought process is that they're going to cap the travel nurses. The agencies themselves are going to cap the travel nurses. So it's not going to be Congress capping the travel nurses. It's going to be the agencies capping the travel nurses, and I, for one, think it's coming. I think it's going to happen. However, at this moment in time, it is just a rumor. Nothing has been done at this moment in time, but I do think it's coming. So yes, Congress is taking a look into. They have a what do they call it? Committee that they're taking a look into these travel nurse agencies. So yeah, I would take it serious, to be honest with you, and I would think that it's sort of out of the nurses' hands. They're planning a protest, actually. The nurses are planning a protest. I think March or May. I can't remember which. Let me see if I can look it up. Travel nurse protest. Yeah, because they are planning on a protest. Yeah, according to Fox 56 here. Let me zoom out here and I'll highlight the article where it says. Yeah, here we go. Come on now. So I hope that took. So thousands of nurses across the country are planning to take part in the Nurse March in DC in May. So yes, in May they are planning on protesting this travel nurse thing. So it is to sort of get back at this pay cap and try to stop the pay cap. But yes, it's a real thing. Do I think they get? Yeah, I think it's going to affect the nurses. I think the CEOs are the ones that's going to not take a pay cap. I think that it's going to that's going to mess them up. Cody, I missed your message, and I hate that because I like to read them all, but I missed yours. Sorry about that. But hey, Jerry, nice to see you this evening. If capped, I think staff nurses will get. I think what they need to do, rather than capping the travel nurses, I think what they really need to do is start worrying about keeping staff, rather than having to create travel nurse positions. Like, why don't we just pay our staff more that's here? But of course, that's not going to happen. But yeah, there's going to be some sort of incentives that some union's going to come up with, and it's going to be terrible. But yeah, Jerry, yes, they do need to cap the CEO. Don't know if they need to cap the physician pay. Physicians get paid a lot. Agreed, they get paid a lot, but the CEOs who don't do what the physicians do, the physicians at the same time, they have a license that they have to uphold, and they have insurances and things like that. So I don't think they're going to cap the physicians, but I would love to see a cap on the CEOs. But I don't think that they're going to cap the physicians. But we'll see. At a hospital now, and I can't believe I take 25 some days. Yeah, I can imagine that taking 25 patients is hard. When I was at the nursing home, I was never a CNA at a nursing home. When I was a nurse, I was at a nursing home. And I remember I had 30 patients, something like that, and I was not doing patient care, so I can't imagine doing 25 doing patient care. That would have been miserable. Been leaving bonuses to pick up. Haven't got to the point money isn't worth it. Yeah, money tends not to be worth it, but you know, it happens. Disagree with physician pay needed to be capped. Personally, yeah, I don't think that they needed to. I really don't think they need to cap the travel nurses or the physicians. I think that the worker bees. I don't think any of the worker bees need to be capped. I think that the admins and the the higher up people. I guess you call them admins. The board, the COs, they all need to be capped. And I wouldn't mind, to be quite honest with you, see them get capped outside of healthcare. Like the CEO of Coca-Cola. I wouldn't mind seeing him get capped, and like the truck drivers get more, or the distributors or the people that make it, get paid more. People like that. But somebody much more intelligent than me, with as far as economy goes, told me that you have to have rich people and you have to have poor people, or the economy won't work. And I guess they're right. I don't know. I'm not an economist, whatever, however you say that, economist. But yeah, I think that the non-worker bees, they need to be capped. The COs and the board and the admins and those sort of people. Congress. I think Congress is capped though. I don't think that they're allowed to. I don't know. I'm about to Google that. Is Congress pay capped? I guess I googled nurse. Oh, salary pay cap, $174,000 for Congress. So Congress was already pay capped. So yes, of course they get paid like people. People that come in, they want you to pass their bills and stuff. Lobbyist, yeah, lobbyist and stuff. They get paid from them. Oh me, good chat right off the bat, man. That's awesome. I'm digging this. Normally, whenever I start these live streams, it takes like 30 minutes before anybody even jumps on. And then another few minutes after that before anybody even starts chatting. Digging this one tonight. I'm glad I fought sleep and stayed awake while I put the kids to bed. Pretty good. Oh, me. Oh, big stretch. Got off work at about 9 a.m. I haven't been to bed yet. I was thinking I was not going to make it this late in the day. But here we are. Why is the protest in May and why not sooner? I imagine, this is just my thought process, I imagine that one, they don't want to go in the cold. I don't want to go in the cold. And two, because they need time to get people together, good speakers. That they're planning on 1 million nurses, so that's a lot of people. I would assume that they're sort of putting the word out there saying, hey, in May we're all going to go to DC, and so it'd be a lot easier to plan that 3 months in advance rather than say, hey, over your kid's spring break in August or April, we're all going to go, or early April, whatever it is, we're all going to go. And so probably, they want time to get the 1 million people, and they probably want good speakers. They probably want people who are very well educated as far as economists and people who deal with staffing in hospitals and things like that. I would imagine that they're trying to get people together who are intelligent, well-spoken individuals who can all meet in D.C. at the same time. That's my guess. I have no idea why, May. That's just my guess. Um, how would a new LPN find local agencies that pay well? That is a loaded question, Jenna. Because my advice is to never join an agency as a new nurse because they dump on you. You're not treated well in agencies. You're really not. You're paid well, and there's a reason why you're paid well, because you're not treated very well. And as a new nurse, a lot of new nurses are not ready for what they're about to be given, because you're literally going to be like thrown the keys and say, thank you, good luck, and like no training at all. So if you're looking for like the highest pay as a new grad, probably your bigger long-term care facilities, and then get you a little bit of experience, and then go to sort of a nurse finders or something like that. I personally would strongly encourage at least a year of experience Med Surg or long-term care on like an acute long-term care facility before you go into agencies, just because you get dumped on so hard. Like, they're not nice to those nurses. But one that pays well that I think is national is Nurse Finders. They pay really well, and I believe they're national. I could be wrong, but I think that they are a national chain. You ask around if you ever see an agency nurse. Typically, agency nurses have worked for multiple different agencies. If you're ever doing clinical and somebody says, "Hey, that's a travel nurse. Hey, that's a float nurse. Hey, that's a that nurse isn't normally here on our unit or whatever." And some facilities actually have their own agencies. They call them float nurses, and they pay well. Float nursing pays really well. But yeah, if you can find a float position, that would be the ticket, because you're going to get paid like agency paid, but you're going to be a on-site staff nurse, or on-site nurse. Like, you work for that facility, but you travel through that facility. That would be your best bet as a new grad, would be a float nurse. But if you want to find a local agency, then just ask around. Just ask whoever's local that does travel. If you know anybody. Sign-on bonuses can be red flags, but they don't have to be red flags. I know that the facility that I work for, the company that I work for, was passing out some very large sign-on bonuses, and I do not consider the facility that I work for at the moment, and I've been there for 7 years. I do not consider them a bad company to work for. I think I would not be there for 7 years if it was a bad company. So no, I don't think that that sign-on bonuses are always a red flag. Look at the facility. Talk to the nurses. Sometimes, like the company I work for, will let you talk to the charge nurse in your interview. They will let you talk to the nursing staff in your interview to find out questions. So if your company that you're applying for will let you do stuff like that, it's typically not a red flag, because they're trying not to hide things. If it's like you just talk to management for like 15-20 minutes, then it might be a red flag. But could be what it is. Speaking of a float tech at my hospital, yes, float tech, like a float CNA, yes, that would be. I worked with float CNAs who were bringing home more than LPNs. It was disappointing. I remember that. Sundo Chop. Nice to see you today, Sundo Chop. I guess maybe I pronounced that wrong. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Retired, medically disabled, firefighter, paramedic. Always rather young, going back to school. Interested in either doing LPN or rad tech. Well, I don't. Without knowing your medical disability, I would go with the rad tech, simply because of the amount of lifting that you still lift people. I mean, you still lift people, but it's a little bit different. It's not as you're not going to walk as much. You're not going to push a cow. You're not going to push a cow. Computer on wheels. So that's probably less physical demanding in rad tech. But I could be wrong. I feel like the radiology techs that I knew were highly intelligent individuals that knew the bones very well. Excuse me. That epilepsy. So the lights and stuff will probably not be good. I would still be leaning toward radiology. The pay's better. The growth isn't as good. But definitely the pay is there. You're going to get paid. And it's not as physically demanding. And I don't know about, I know a lot of epileptics have, the triggers and whatnot that is what really messes with them. But I would still be leaning toward radiology tech. But if you feel that you can walk many steps a day without having any issues, pushing those cows or the med cart or whatever you may be, go into nursing. But you're liable to be turning people, changing people, things like that. But definitely good question. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would be a good one as well. I would say respiratory tech, but they carry around so much gear. They just carry around so much. I don't know. Or ultrasound. Ultrasound will be good. But I don't. Yeah, I think they're typically in darker rooms. That may not be good. Yeah, probably not. Probably not ultrasound. Probably radiology would be your best. Especially if it's LPN, because you're looking at getting paid pretty good for that. Yeah. Hate that you're medically disabled though. That's terrible. Ooh, me. And Jerry, I don't know if you're still in here or not, but I don't know what it is. Every time you comment on like a regular video, it flags you. You and another guy. It says that you're spamming the channel or something. So, like once a month, I get notifications saying that all of your comments are flags for some reason. So, if I haven't been responding back to your comments, that's why, because I'm just finding them. Yes, stenography pays well, yeah. Sonography, not stenography. Stenographer is the people that write the notes in court. Yeah, man. And again, I am absolutely no expert at all, so, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. Because I got tiny brains. And I'm getting old. Does hospice pay well for LPNs? If Rob is in this, Rob can tell you he was a hospice LPN. But I think that hospice pays average for every other place that LPNs work. They don't pay exceptionally well. but they're not very nice to their LPNs in hospice. If I can remember correctly, I don't want to say they're not very nice. I mean, they have LPNs, and they're it's I don't want to say they're ugly to the LPNs. They so by me saying they're not very nice to their LPNs. So what I mean like is if census gets low, which can happen in hospice, they'll send the LPNs home before they will the RNs. So they don't really like day to day treat them badly, but they can bill more. I guess they can bill more for RNs rather than the LPNs. So even though the LPNs aren't making as much as the RNs, they're still billing more, and so they're going to send the LPNs home before they do the RNs. So, but as far as like day to day work, they're not they're not ugly to the LPNs. It's just that area where like if said if census runs low, you're the first one to go home. They're not going to keep you around, even if like there's you know just your first day out of three, and an RN is working their third of three. They're going to send you home. So, uh, kind of a bummer when it comes to that. But hospice pays average for everybody else. What kind of patients did I see in the LTC? What kind of disease processes? I was in the long-term care facility that I was in had trachs, vents, feeding tubes. I was not. We had some Alzheimer's, but it wasn't, or memory loss. It wasn't the same. I was in a place where I was at an LTC was a lot of accidents that put people there. A lot of people might have had like a fall that crippled them, or a car wreck, or a debilitating stroke. Mine was where I was at the long term care facility was like that. So we did have a memory care unit. I was not on that unit, but we did have one, and it was. I didn't work in that area. Well, I was at a rehab unit where people would come and they would stay for like a month or two or however long insurance would pay for them, and then they would maybe learn to walk again, maybe learn to use their hand again after a stroke, or how to feed themselves, things like that. I didn't work on that either, but saw a lot of everything. And there's even like acute care, long-term care facilities. I didn't work on one of those either, but that's for like really, really sick people who can't live at the hospital, but they still need a lot of like IVs and stuff like that. So there's a lot to LTC rather than just people thinking that it's somewhere where people with memory loss go. Um, there's different LTCs for or long term cares for different things. There's a lot of interesting things in the LTC. A lot of people say they're just pill pushers when you go to work there, but they're more than just pill pushers out there. There's a lot more to it than that. So check them out. They're all different. Sorry, I got a text I had to respond back to. But you'll find a little bit of everything out there in the LTC world. Other places I had an interview. Not sure. The ICU been hearing that they're so maybe I lost it. The ICU is giving 30 patients each. So the thing about the ICU, and if you're having 30 patients each, that's got to be in the entire unit. The thing about the ICU is it's not going to be the same. Whereas, you know, where you're at now, you're probably the only individual for 25 patients. At the ICU, nurses typically have 1 to 3 patients each. And so you're going to have someone there who has the ability to help you. So, yes, even though you'll have 30 patients on the ICUs, you will still have a body there to help you. And they're probably going to want to help you because these individuals that are in the ICU are probably hooked to at least one device, you know, even if it's just an IV, but they're probably hooked to, you know, probably a Foley or a chest tube or some sort of breathing apparatus, that even just nasal cannula oxygen that the nurse is going to want to put eyes on to see you when you turn them or change them or wash them or whatever it is. Things like that. No, it's a long-term acute care hospital with ICU patients. Yeah. You may want to stay away from that one. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Courtney the line cook has showed up. I stayed awake.
I'm going to change clothes. I'll be in here in a second.
Milligan. Do patients ever think having a guy nurse is weird? Yes. Patients think having a guy nurse is weird often. And, you know, some of them do, some of them don't. Typically, it's your older women who's only had their husband see them naked their entire life that think that it's weird. But typically, no. I mean, people know that you're there to do a job, so they're not. You know, most people don't care. You would think people care, but you know, most people don't care. They're sick. They just want to feel better. Yeah, if they have one CNA for the entire place, you may need to question that. That's a lot of 30 beds. That's a lot of stuff. A lot of peoples. 30 patients each. But if it depends on, like I said, it depends on your nursing staff. If you're in an ICU setting, there's typically more nurses there than at your regular LTC. I could be wrong because I don't know, you know, exactly this acute care long-term care facility, but typically you'll have more nurses to help you because, you know, like I said, you will have all the devices on individuals, like the IVs and the chest tubes and the breathing apparatuses and Foleys and, oh, I'm sure I'm forgetting other things, possibly, you know, chemo or dialysis or, you know, things like that, and a nurse is going to want to help you with that. But yeah, the thing about the sign-on bonus though is that, like, if you go to do the thing and you only talk to management, like they don't let you talk to anyone else, you know, that could be a thing. 4 to 5 nurse patient rate. That's a pretty good ratio, 4 to 5 nurse to patient. If that's true, I would take a look at it. You know, take a look at it. I mean, I'll weigh my options. 4 to 5 patients per nurse. That's a pretty good ratio. I was on a step down unit where it was 1 to 6. 1 nurse to 6 patients on a step down. It was, you know, it is what it is. Do I keep in contact with my nursing school friends? No. But I Facebook stalk them because they're on my Facebook, you know, from school. And so I see, like, what they're doing from there. But as far as, like, communicating with them, no, I don't communicate with them. So no, I don't keep in contact with any of my nursing school friends. But we weren't friends, I guess. I was the only guy in nursing school. I think if maybe there was like another guy in nursing school, it would have been all right. But no, don't keep in contact with any of them. One of them became a MP now, FMP. So, you know, I just get secretly jealous of the one that's an FMP now. but she also has no kids, so powered through that mess. She did a phenomenal job. Open interview in the ER. Well, thank you, Mike. I'm glad that you were able to pass the NCLEX, the NCLEX. I hope you did the 48-hour, like you pay like $25 and you get 48 hours of test results or whatever. That's what I did. Because that little NCLEX trick, man, that mess did not work for me. Like where you put in your something like you sign in, put in your credit card number, and then it like charges you again if you failed, or doesn't charge you again if you pass, something like that. Anyways, I can't remember how it goes, but that mess did not work for me. I did the opposite, and I was in terrible shape. So I got another text I've got to respond to. You patiently waited. Very nice. I did not patiently wait, and I paid. I want to say it was $20 I had to pay to get my 48-hour results. I did not patiently wait, and like I said, I also tried the NCLEX trick, and it did not work for me. Leave that. There you go. Thank you. I'm gonna sit there.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of people, and it was like a lot of people from the get-go.
Oh, good.
They started chatting like the instant I went live. How hard was pharmacology in Med Surg classes? Pharmacology I found moderately difficult. Med Surg, you really gotta like read your instructor or your person who's conducting the class. You gotta read them pretty well and figure out what it is that they're wanting to know, because Med Surg is just so broad. It just you really just got to know your teacher on that one. There's no like right or wrong for Med Surg. Pharmacology is, once you start learning like the first three letters of the word mean this and the last three letters mean that, and you understand that it's now a cardiac med because of how the letters line up, and then like the prills and the lulls and the things like that. I can't think of any more off the top of my head right now. The sins. Once you start learning all these three little words and where they end, pharmacology can be easier, but you got to start learning like what this last three letters mean or what this first three letters mean, things like that. Med Surg is just, it's just not easy.
You need more drink.
No, I'm about half full.
Okay, I'm about to go get me some more.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have anything else to drink but water. Weren't planning on going back for your RN, but has that changed? Am I still content? About once a month in my mind, I want to be an FNP, and then that's always the end goal is the FNP, but I would have to get the BSN to get the FNP, but I don't want to get the BSN, I just want to go straight to the FNP. So yes, I'm still content. I'm not unhappy with where I'm at. I'm still very much so content where I'm at, but like I said, I want the FNP, but I don't want to do the BSN. So I'm stuck. What will probably likely happen is I will probably be an LPN until I retire, and then I'm like, oh, now it's time to go back to school. But yeah, it's too late now. Yay! Or I'll wait until like all my kids are out of the house and then go back to school. But I doubt that'll happen. No, I'll be, when my youngest is 18, I'll be 50. So I don't think I'll go back at 50. But I might. I don't know. I doubt it though. So yes, I'm still content and don't want to go back at this moment in time. But you never know. This lady over here says she's going to divorce me if I go back to school. So
Yeah.
What do I love about being a nurse, and is there anything I hate? What do I love? What I love the most about it? I don't know. I have no idea. What do I hate? I tell you what I hate about it. What I absolutely hate about being a nurse is when you're not a nurse, like when you're off the clock, and then somebody has like the slightest little issue. They're like, "Oh, Chris is a nurse. He can help." I don't want to help. I'm off the clock. I want to be done. I'm not a nurse right now. I hate that part. But what do I love the most about it? I have no idea. Probably like the things I get to see and the things I get to do. Like a lot of people don't get to do things like what nurses do, and I like that. I really like that. I don't really know if there's like one thing that's a mass love, but the rest of it, I like I like it. You know, I mean, I love my job. I don't want to change my job, but I don't know that there's like one thing that stands out that's my absolute favorite. Thought I might do LPN to RN after I get some experience. I think I may be happy as an LPN. Yeah, there's still hospitals that hire LPNs. There's plenty of hospitals that hire LPNs. A lot of your like local privately owned hospitals, before they get bought out by all these big companies, they still hire LPNs. And you may only get to work like Med Surg or ED, um, things like that. Yes, same as an EMT. You don't want, like when you're off the clock, you don't want to be an EMT. You don't want to be a nurse when you're off the clock, because as soon as something happens, like we live like across the road from our children's elementary school, and so like if they're having practice or something, well, granted I am the booster club president, but the coach will call, "Hey, I had a fall. Hey, I got a kid bleeding. Hey." It's like, oh, I just want to be off the clock. But of course, I always go help the child or the coach or whoever it is that has landed upon their face.
Which most of the time it is nothing serious, and it's
Most of the time it's not.
You got a nosebleed that won't stop, or.
One time I had a coach that decided to run into the wall. I have no idea why. He just decided to do it. I don't think he meant to, but
He was playing basketball and
he just didn't stop.
couldn't stop.
So I showed up and I said, "I don't think you need to go to the hospital. Your eyes look funny. Your eyes are looking weird. Get your wife to drive you." Love about being a tech in the ICU. Something going wrong. Hold on, I need to read that one again. What I love about ICU. Yeah. That moment when you like notice something, like the red flag moments, like before everything goes bad, and you're like, oh, something is about to happen right here, and it's sort of like a gut feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I do love that. That is pretty cool. Have I heard about how Canada has expanded the role of the LPN, and do you think it will happen here? Parts of Canada are compact. So I'm going to Google that right now, and do I think it will happen here? It depends on if the compact it depends on if the compact goes to Canada in the areas that are affected here in the States. And forgive me, I don't know which regions are which in Canada and America, but I think if the areas where LPNs start getting a bigger role in Canada and their compact states, and then legislation allows it, I think that it will start to happen here. Is it a guarantee? No, but I think that it could, especially if they're like that area is a compact area, which is very possible because like I said, parts of Canada are compact, and North Carolina is compact where I live. So like if I live here and I want to go to Colorado, Colorado's a compact state. I could just like pick up and go, and so we have a lot of the same rules. So I think it could happen, definitely. But will it definitely? I don't know. It all depends on like what the new legislation is. Um, Stay in LPN if you have kids or have family support financially or in a position to go back. I would say go back. Everyone's situation is different. Yes, I will say yeah. I agree. If you have the ability to not have to worry about bills and things like that, because I would have to drastically cut down on work to go back to school. I'm not working nights and going back to school again. That was miserable. That was absolutely no fun.
And now we have 2 more than we did.
Yeah, we had one at the time. Now we got 3. So if I was ever to go back, it would be years down the road. Like I said, I'll be 50 when my youngest is 18. I'll be so old. I don't even think it'd be worth to go back at 50. But
Could just do it just to do it.
I could. When I was going to school, there were plenty of 50-year-olds though, because that's when the economy was in the tank, and they were also trying to find jobs in anything. Big yawns.
I'm trying to get where I'm in the camera.
Well, why don't you take the little seat?
Because I'm too short over there.
So, do you want the chair?
No.
I'll give you this big chair, and I'll take the little seat. Because you are absolutely not in the camera.
I'm just too short.
Oh, hold on. Good evening, Deb. I say good evening to Deb. Deb, if you have a workplace that assists you in advancing, by all means continue your education. Yes. By all means.
Yeah, if they help you, but yours doesn't really do that.
Mine doesn't, but
there's no need for it either.
No, mine doesn't help in education, but they're not going to frown upon it if I decide to go back to school. They're just not going to help me with it. But I would still have a job. They would still keep me there. But they're not going to.
Yeah, because you fake quit all the time.
I do fake quit every single day. Every single day. I turn in my badge, I turn in my keys, and I quit. What is my? I'm substance abuse is my current specialty. What is it like? And I'm what's called maintenance. I'm not inpatient and I'm not outpatient. I'll get to that in a second. What's it like? It's like every single day I get to hang out with people who aren't
Are perfectly normal, but people don't know it.
Yeah. I get to hang out with like regular people every single day. Many of my patients you would never know had an issue. I would say like 90% of my patients you would never know. And like I said, I'm not inpatient, I'm not outpatient. I'm what's called maintenance. So there's inpatient facilities that people live in for substance abuse, and then there's outpatient facilities. Like I said, I am sort of in between. Like a halfway house. I guess is the best. Halfway house would be the best way to put it.
I'd say past and halfway house.
Past and halfway house.
Yeah, because they're not. They don't need that supervision like that.
Yeah, but they still get supervision.
Yeah, but not full-time supervision like that.
So, well, it depends on the patient. Some are constant supervised, some are not. I'll stop there before I start giving too much information, because I am terrified of HIPAA. But maintenance is maintenance substance abuse is my specialty, and has been for 7 years. You rocking the chair?
Sorry.
Do you want to sit in the chair?
No.
Okay. Big yawn.
Sure.
I've been in it for a while, but it's all good. Not every other facility. I've done home health too. I was gonna say every other facility's been inpatient, but I've also done home health, which is not inpatient. It is what it is. Do you feel? Hold on, I'm getting tired. Would want to go back to a LTC if it will be as skills. No, it wouldn't be hard as skills. No, skills pay the bills, man. I don't think I would want to go back to a long-term care facility because I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. It just, long-term care was not for me. It just wasn't. It wasn't anything skills-wise. I didn't do well. Probably my company that I worked for, I didn't do well with that company. And so that was why I would not go back to long-term care, because I just didn't do well with that company. But would I give it another shot? Probably, if I had to, but I don't want to. What made me stay in substance abuse? If you want an honest answer, the honest answer as to why I stayed in substance abuse is the shift that I work. I work 4 to noon. Well, it's really 4:30 to 12:30. I'm home every day by 1.
Sometimes.
So that is the entire reason why I got into substance abuse, because they had a shift that was offered from 4 a.m. to noon, and I jumped on it and took that position, and that would be it. Is it easier? Depend. What do you mean easier?
Mentally wise, no.
Skills based? Possibly. Charting? Absolutely not. Policies and procedures? No. But as far as like the simple skill of being a nurse, probably yes. So it's got its trade-offs.
No, because you deal with things that other people in the hospital wouldn't deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I deal with a lot that hospitals
like you would like
don't
they're
or
not going to
can't.
see that.
Yeah, this
but
is
you
true.
would see things that they're not going to see, but then you're not going to see things that they're going to see every day.
Yeah. On a charting wise, I would say that there's a lot more to this one, but yeah, it's pretty early. Cody
asked a question. What you do now is more assessments.
No, not necessarily more assessments.
There is a lot of assessments.
There's a lot of assessments, but it's like, I'm trying to think. There's just a lot of policies, because there's so many like rules and regulations in what I do. It's not black and white, and you gotta like know the gray. I guess. I mean, I guess parts of it's black and white. It's just you gotta know like what's. Think of the game Planko. When you got other things like if the ball goes this way, you do that. If it goes that way, you do that. If it goes that way, you do that. It's you got to know like if the ball falls one way, you got to do certain things, and so there's no.
I think that's called Planko.
That's what I said, Planko.
You said Planko.
Yeah.
Plinko.
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 Plinko. Planko. Whatever it is. sort of like that in nursing, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, it gets early. It gets old quick, especially 6 days a week or 5 days a week. Yes, there are a ton of policies.
Well, the thing about that early though is that he does get off at 12:30, 1 o'clock every day.
Mm-hmm.
So he has the rest of the afternoon and the evening off.
Mm-hmm. To do things. Like, if I didn't have kids, I'd probably have an awesome hobby. Don't you think so?
You probably wouldn't be at that job if we had kids.
This is true.
We didn't have kids.
This is true. I would not be at that job. I'd be at a very high-paying job. Because substance abuse is on the lower end of the pay scale. As far as that goes. What does that mean right there? In the chat, right? Trading most recently. Okay. I don't know what that means, but.
There are a ton of policies. Yeah, definitely a lot of policies.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yes, and 4 a.m. is 3:35 is what time the alarm is set for. Oh, another reason why I kept that job is we live 4 miles from the facility, so it takes me 8 minutes to get to work. So I get to work 4 to 12.
And he drives slow, so 8 minutes is
4 to 12 and 8 minute ride home. I mean, you can't beat that. You know, there's no point in changing when it's 8 minutes to and from home, 4 miles from the house. You know, there ain't no point in leaving that. I mean, it's too good, even with the early hours. Whew. Brandon has me 2 players tomorrow.
just in case.
Mm-hmm. So, do I like Baylor shifts? I like Baylor shifts in theory. And I think everyone likes them in theory. I don't think anyone actually likes Baylor shifts. What I would like is if Baylor shifts weren't, or at least here locally, they're always either Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday. I would like them if they were like Tuesday through Thursday. So, you know, something middle of the week. So you have the whole weekend off. That would be pretty cool. But locally, they are weekend killers, weekend destroyers. But I don't like the fact that you only have 8 hours of not working time. That's not taking into account how long it takes you to drive home. You've still got to eat. You've still got to shower. You've still got to do all these other things that you do during the waking day. Brush your teeth. Go get eyeglasses. You know, go to the grocery store. Things like that. I guess you could push that off for other days. But some things you can't. You know, sometimes
your kid gets sick.
Your kid gets sick. You know, you gotta, you know, whatever.
At the hospital for 8 hours or whatever.
Yeah. So, in theory, I like Baylor shifts. What is a Baylor shift? A Baylor shift is 16 hours. And they're back to back. And so, we locally do 2 16s and you get paid for 40. So you're only doing 32 hours, but you still get paid for 40. But you're working first, second, or second, third, or third, first, all in one go round, and then you're only off the clock for 8 hours in between those 2 shifts. So, you know, in theory, everybody's like, oh yeah, I can do Baylor shift, but I don't think it's very good in reality. In theory, yes, I love Baylor shifts. In reality, I don't think I could do one. I think
There's no way.
I think I could do the first part of one and then not make it through the second part of one. I would just,
You probably could like one day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could do one half of the Baylor shift. I don't think.
No, I'm saying you probably could do one full day of it, like the two full shifts. But if you had to go in the next one, there's no way.
North Carolina is where I am located. And do not plan to leave.
Nah.
I have no plans on leaving North Carolina. It's too good of a state. Ooh, me. If I can keep from yawning, I'll be alright. Of course, I am in a compact state, like I said, so I could go to like almost everywhere except for like California, any of the West Coast states, and a lot of the northeastern states. What do I like about it? Like, what do I like about North Carolina? Michigan is cold. Tennessee is the next stop. I have been to Michigan, and it is cold. I'll agree.
You lived in Tennessee.
I lived in Tennessee for a while. It is also cold, depending upon your elevation. Not as cold as Michigan, I'm sure. But Tennessee is a very beautiful state. Michigan was a pretty state. I did like Michigan. It was I thought it was really pretty. Went through went past Detroit, went somewhere. I want to say it was, I don't even want to make up the town. I'm not even going to say it. We were close to the lakes. The big ones up there. What I like about North Carolina, I mean, we got everything here, man. We got good food,
mountains,
racing, beach, mountains, racing. Done said it once, gonna say it again. I love racing. We got a racetrack about anywhere you can point your finger at. I mean, that's where it's at, is the racing.
Well, and it's we get all the seasons.
Yeah, we got seasons too. Yeah,
we get them all.
Yeah.
There's never like a time where we don't get like fall, spring, summer, and winter.
And we got an average cost of living and good schools.
Yes.
So like we don't have a low cost of living, we don't have a high cost of living, but
there's an average.
There's an average, and our schools are good. Teacher pay's not good, but the schools are good.
Yeah, teacher pay could definitely be a lot better.
But
and our schools have great teachers.
Yeah, our schools have great teachers. Low teacher student ratio, things like that.
Great special needs programs.
Yeah, we have a special needs child, great special needs programs.
Well, we have 2 special needs kids now, but
right. In any case, Michigan has 4 to 5 good months, almost half a year.
Hey, it's doable.
Cody is a guitar player.
Nice.
I am so bad at guitar that I don't even listen to it. I listen to NPR, talk radio.
He's not lying.
Because I'm an old man.
And drives slow, but loves racing.
Sure do love some racing. Because I am old and listen to talk radio. News radio, I should say. Not necessarily talk radio. I don't listen to like Rush Limbaugh. I know that he's dead now, but those sort of people. I listen to like, hopefully factual news. I'm hoping it's factual news. But typically that's what I listen to. Unless the kids are with me, and then it's whatever the top 40 is at the time. But yes, guitar player in Nashville would be the place to go. I have seen downtown Nashville. And
me too.
They love the music down there. My sister got married in Franklin, right next door to Nashville. We went through Nashville. Mm-hmm. We sure did. Nashville is a very beautiful town.
Yes. I want to take the girls there.
I would like to take the girls there, yeah. Very beautiful town. Excuse me. What does this one say?
Cody, I was a drummer, so.
Yeah, I have absolutely no musical talent. Racing. After school, I'd like to get a WRX. They are quick, yes. And they are a great family car. I don't really know they're a great family car. The back seats, those car seats that turn around, like I have a Cruise, so it's about the same size as the WRX. Those rear face seats, man, they hate the Cruise. Like, it's hard to get the rear face seat in the Cruise. It was not fun. But, WRX pretty quick. They're pretty quick little car, them old Subarus.
If you only have one kid and you put it in the middle, though, the rear facing seat in the middle, and they don't drive in the back seat like you do.
Yeah, but they would have to have the hooks. I don't know.
I'm sure they have the hooks. Is a newer car, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they have the hooks and stuff, yeah. So.
His favorite band.
Favorite band is from Franklin. When my sister got married in Franklin, we were in a Civil War jail.
For the
reception. And the food was in the chambers, or the jail cells, or whatever you want to call it. And they still had like the really old, like swinging doors. It was really cool.
And the wedding we were outside and it was extremely
Yeah, the wedding was outside.
hot.
It was like 108 degrees.
And I was like newly pregnant.
You were like 3 or 4 months pregnant, yeah.
My bump showed in my dress, like barely showed.
It was so much fun. I remember my uncle was like, "Here, let's drink some bourbon," and I was like, "Absolutely not." Like, my wife is over here pregnant. Car's a straight drive. She is not going to want to drive my tore up self back to Nashville. Or no, we were in Clarksville, Fort Campbell.
Yeah, wherever we were going. That I did not know we were going.
Like, you didn't know. I was like, Uncle Charlie, I am not drinking. Of course, I don't drink anyways, but I was like, no.
Then it wasn't. It was more. You were freshly not drinking, so it would have been.
Only way he can convince his wife to get a fast car is if it has back seats. So he's glad that she didn't hear that. And they have one son. I have tried for years to convince her to let me get a fast car, and then she won't let me do it. So
that's not true.
I feel you on that one, Cody.
That's not true. What did I say?
I don't know. What did you say?
I said, when we get the money and we've got things paid off, then you can buy a fast car.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the money?
Yeah.
Do we have things paid off?
No.
Okay, then.
Yeah, we still need to pay things
We
off.
still don't have the money.
No,
He's
we
lying
don't have
about
the money.
that too.
But I definitely want a fast car. Our oldest, wants me to pick her up in the car rider line in a race car, so it rattles everybody when it comes in, because she thinks that is the coolest thing ever. So I would love to have.
She loves racing just as much as he does.
I would love to show up in something like that. Our neighbor next door has an EcoBoost Mustang, a 4-cylinder turbo. It looks pretty cool.
Big enough, though, for
no, I would have to have 4 doors.
Yeah, that's the only thing is you can do car seats with 2 doors, but they're just really hard to do.
No, it's terrible to do it with 2 doors. The rear face car seat, the front face is okay. The booster seat is even easier. I do not like the way that the new V8 Mustangs sound. I hate the way that the Coyotes sound.
Well, the rear facing like infant seats aren't that bad to get in and out because they just click in. But when it says rear facing and it's the bigger booster seat,
Yeah.
that's when you get in trouble because they're huge.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Charger would be awesome.
Yes.
I like the Charger.
Charger's a bigger car too, so that'd be plenty of room.
Mm-hmm. Very much so true. Very much so true.
And yeah, that's right. And they got the Hemi.
Mm-hmm. And the Hellcat.
The Hemi. Oh, that's right. We saw the Hellcat when we went and looked at the truck.
Mm-hmm.
My ring's
And
back.
if you're lucky, you can get a 6-speed Hellcat.
Oh yeah.
But you really got to look for those. I don't know how many of those they actually built. The old 6-speed. Oh my heavens! I'm sorry. I worked today, so I've not been asleep since 3:35 this morning.
Games and everything else.
Yeah, and then we had games, and the kids had things, and my mom came over, and things like that. Yeah, the Boxer Rumble from the WRX is pretty cool, and the blow off. You can make it make different sounds with the blow off. Put your HKS blow off on there, so it does something like that. That'd be cool. Been watching for a long time. Love the content. Keep it up. On my way to LPN school. Well, thank you, Colton. Good to see you this evening. Glad that you have been watching the content for a long time. How much more do you have to get before you get to school? Like, are you in the tease part of it, or are you in the sort of the prerequisite area? Because the tease test ain't no joke, man. I hope that you study your way up through the tease test, or if you do tease test, maybe you do Kaplan, or is it Kaplan? I think that's what it is. Is the other one? That tease test, man. They want to know like how to read a phone book, clouds, DNA synthesis, and stuff like that for some reason. That tease test made absolutely no sense. But it wanted to test like your ability to take a test, I think is what it was testing. Made absolutely no sense. Let me see how I score on my ability to take a test. Yay! I took the T's V, so I think it was the T's 5. I don't even know what T's are up to now.
Oh no.
I don't know. Probably like the T's 17. Why do I think the LPN scope of practice is different everywhere? Seems like they will want to make it less difficult to... Yeah, I don't know why it is different. It's got to be some sort of political thing.
And state-by-state mandates, things like that.
Yeah, but even compact states have different requirements and things like that. I really don't know why. Because you would think that they would want to make it like an RN where it's like a generalized scope of practice throughout the United States. But like even in Texas and California, they have LVNs and not LPNs, which that makes no sense to me. And Texas is a compact state, so I guess if you leave Texas as an LVN, I don't know if you get hired on anywhere else, like simply because of your title. It'd be interesting to see somebody if they became an LVN in Texas and then moved out of Texas and used the compact to go somewhere else, to see if they stayed an LVN or if they had to retake the NCLEX, because they already have the college education to be a nurse. They just have to like retake the NCLEX or whatever.
Or if it would just transfer over.
Yeah, or if it would just transfer over and your title would change as soon as you
transfer
to states. I don't know. Yeah, that makes no sense as to why they would not just go ahead and make them all the same. And then on top of that, like ADN and BSN, as far as policies and procedures goes, there is like no difference in the two of them. However, there's 2 more years of school for a BSN rather than a ADN. That makes no sense. When deciding on LPN versus RN, wanted to know the difference in Michigan.
Yeah.
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 That's not just Michigan. That's also here in North Carolina. Yeah, it's made up as they go. And then like your state may say, "Oh, LPNs can do all of these things," and
You
then
just
like
can't
you
sign the
go,
paperwork.
yeah, and then you can't sign paperwork, and then you go like to work or whatever, and then work is like, "Oh yeah, LPNs can do that, but we don't get billed by the insurance this way, so we need you to code it this way," and so RN has to sign the coding that you just coded or whatever, and so you could do this entire paperwork, but then you got to get an RN to sign behind you so that we get billed correctly. Oh man, it's like, oh, why are y'all even? Why can't we just have one generalized rule? Not one generalized rule, but just a generalized rule. And it doesn't work that way. And insurance is unfortunately part of that, and lawmakers and people like that, they are all part of that. But yeah, don't think that that's just Michigan. That's also North Carolina, and I'm sure many other states throughout the United States of these here America. I wish I could see like every single person,
The
like
people
the
watching.
name of the people that are watching.
Yeah.
But I can only see them like whenever they're
Chatting.
chatting.
Whenever you're chatting.
Mm-hmm. I wish I could, but I cannot.
You can on TikTok.
I'm not getting a TikTok.
Tell him he should get a TikTok.
I should not get a TikTok. If I had a TikTok, I don't want TikTok. All I want is my YouTube. I don't like the TikTok. Create a poll. I could create a poll.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna create a poll asking if you should get a TikTok.
Well, here, let's go ahead and create a poll. Oh shoot. I get a TikTok. It's one word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's my favorite YouTuber for nursing content? RN Scrub. RN Scrub is my favorite YouTuber for nursing content. And RN Scrub is a husband-wife combo. It's not just one person.
You can comment it in there so they may have it. You can type in their actual YouTube name.
Oh.
You can comment on there too so that they can see it.
Well, let me see. Did that?
And it'll tag them too in your thing.
It will?
Yeah.
Oh. RN Scrub does a lot of things that I cannot do. Not because I don't know, but because they have the ability. Noah's winning. Not because I don't know how to do the things, but they have the ability, they have the facility to do it. I don't know how they do it. It's like they do tasks like in their house, I guess. I don't know. But very cool channel. They'll respond back to you. They don't release content often, maybe like one every 2 weeks or so. But the content that they do release is always worth watching. It's always a task or a skill. And they're based out of California, so things may be a little different. But like as far as like head to toe assessment, they definitely got the head to toe assessment down. And they'll show you how to do it. And they're very good at it. So RN Scrub is my favorite YouTube for nursing content. But like I said, it's not a YouTuber, it's a husband wife Um, husband-wife combo. I want to make that bigger. But Noah's definitely winning. There we go. I think I had 3 people vote. 2 of them said no for
One
the
said yes.
TikTok. 1 yes for the TikTok. 2 no's for the TikTok.
Well, I have a TikTok if y'all want to.
So I bet that the one vote for the TikTok would follow me on TikTok. What helped me study for LPN school? I've gotten books from my program, and I look through them a couple times a week to familiarize myself a bit before I go.
What's the ones that you got?
The books? Kaplan.
Yeah.
Kaplan is the name of the books that I got. Let's go.
Where the study ones that you got?
That's NCLEX LPN. These people here, these Kaplan books. When they got that little company
At the top.
Top of them, Kaplan. Kaplan was the program. I used Kaplan for when I did my NCLEX. I used Kaplan for, I don't know, everything.
And you use the NCLEX for dummies and.
Yeah, I use NCLEX for dummies and things like that.
There's another study guide you'd used. It wasn't the one for dummies. It was, I remember we were talking about this the other night. I couldn't remember the name of the book.
I don't know. Their books were green when I had them, but it was still Kaplan.
Same book.
That's why I read I read their T's book to get into the LPN program, the Kaplan T's exam, or something like that. I wonder if that is still even a book. Oh. Kaplan T's. That's not Kaplan. That's Kaplan. But mine was green.
Right.
That's the website. That's Kaplan website.
Yeah, but that's free test questions and stuff right there.
Yeah. The thing about Kaplan is you have to pay for them.
Some of them.
I mean, unless you buy the books, you have to buy the books. But you pay for Kaplan. But the thing about it was, for me with Kaplan, was my school had some sort of deal with Kaplan, and simply by enrolling in the program, or attempting to enroll in the program, I got a deal for 1 year free of Kaplan, or something like that. So that's why I used them, but they were still really good. And I used Davis Drug Guide.
Oh yeah.
Is that even still a thing?
I'm sure it is.
Davis Drug Guide for all of my. They're on the 16th edition now.
Yeah, but I mean that's.
The book still looks the exact same. They don't really change a lot, but Davis Drug Guide was the one.
You still have that.
I still have my Davis Drug Guide book. Mine look like that though. I think that green one there.
It was an older one.
Yeah, it's older now, but
it wasn't that green. It was like a lime green, but it looked like that, but it was like a lime green.
I think it was that one. But Davis Drug Guide was what I used.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Okay.
He just bought that one.
Yeah.
Good. That one's really good.
I bought the one with the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the best one. I bought the one. Of course, I don't think that might be showing my age a little bit. It had the disc that you put in your computer, and it had all the same stuff on it. They probably have some sort of downloadable code now at this point in time. But yeah, I bought the Davis Drug Guide, and Kaplan was my other one. But those were the 2 that I used.
And then when it came to the testing, of course,
the regular
NCLEX for dummies and
the regular
T's
books,
for dummies and
Oh, we got 5 votes. 2 are yes, 3 are no. It's getting closer for the TikTok.
Well, it's because you can go on live on TikTok too and be more interactive. Because you can see everybody that comes on and you can tell them hey and stuff.
Yeah, because I can only tell them hey whenever
They respond to this.
they respond to this, yeah.
My nose ring is bothering me so bad.
Well, go clean that thing if you need to.
It's the inside.
That ain't no good. But yes, I agree. I think Davis Drug Guide is the best. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, well, he still uses that.
Mm-hmm. And I think that they also have a Davis lab value book.
You had to use lab
Yeah.
right there. Yeah, you had to get that one too.
Yeah, and I got this one also.
Yeah, you had to have that one too. Yeah.
The Davis lab value. I got that one also.
Yep.
Of course, mine's so old now. I think it looked like that.
Yeah.
I think that was the one I got.
That or that one. One of
that
those
one.
two.
Let's see.
It was that one or that one.
That one's used at Thrifty Books, so chances are, 6th edition. What are we on now? If we're in the teens, then that was the one I had. 8th edition, so I probably had like 2nd or 3rd. I'm not sure.
They still use it.
Yeah. The Davis, I don't know what it is. The Davises, they just seem to be the best. They seem to have the best content.
Our kids have gotten prescribed stuff that we have no idea, and we've looked it up in the book. So I mean.
Yeah, the thing about them that I really like is they give you side effects that you wouldn't even think of and things like that. It'll help especially in clinicals.
Yeah.
When you have to know all your meds and the onset and things like that, and the Davis Drug Guide gives you all of that. And it was a lot easier with my floppy disk because I could type it in and find it when my computer loaded up. When the disk decided to make it work. But the disc was so slow that it was actually easier to flip through the book to find it. I remember those days. Don't you remember those days sitting in the living room floor with all the books spread out?
And you would be like, I need this, this, and this. And I was like, okay.
Yep, we had everything in the living room floor of our single wide.
His best book?
What was my best book? Oh.
Me.
You were my best book?
Yeah, because you use me all the time.
I don't know.
I helped you get through nursing school.
I mean, agreed, yes.
Who quizzed you all the time?
You did. I can't
drink what's not there.
Can't drink what's not there, no. There's nothing in my cup no more. I'm alright. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on because I'm just getting... No, my wife is a cook. She cooks up the steaks.
I'm a line cook.
She's a line cook. So no, she is not a nurse. She could not look in the books whenever it got to the wounds and stuff.
Not the wound, just the bed sores.
Yeah, the bed sores she couldn't look at. She could not do it. But, you know, not for everybody.
I actually went to school to be a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got pregnant.
Yep. The smell is worse.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
That just like brand new flesh where rotting flesh was. Oh, there's nothing like it. If you ever saw like the Vietnam movies when it's like, oh, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Yeah, whenever you turn over that patient for the Q2 hour turns or whatever, and you turn them over, and them sheets just sort of, they just sort of waft it straight into the nostrils. I love the bed sore smell in the morning. I hate it. It's one of them. It's one of them distinct smells that you never forget. That and a GI bleed. Ugh, you know what a GI bleed is? As soon as you smell it, miserable, miserable smell. The GI bleed. They are terrible. Nice backlight. Thank you, Tun Tun. Good to see you.
He worked hard on those.
I did. I did. I did actually work hard on that. Tun, I did a lot of like looking up stuff. I bought some lights and I learned my computer a lot better and my software, and so now you can tell I got the whole screen. And then like if I Google something, I can Google it, and then I can shrink myself down and then make myself real big again. Tun, I worked on this pretty good, pretty hard. I'm quite proud of myself actually, but thank you for noticing. Got a new admit from a nursing home, and they were shutting down last night, and we turned a new way and asked if they were a wound because I could smell it. Yes. The transport was probably like, yeah, there's a wound in there, as soon as you said something, because they were probably like, yeah, of course there is. You should know this by now.
Oh.
What? Oh, we're getting closer to the 50-50.
You might have to get a TikTok.
I'm not getting a TikTok. I don't think there's a need for a TikTok. I just don't think there's a need for a TikTok. I don't know if I could. I don't know that I personally have the ability to do a live stream YouTube and a live stream TikTok. I don't think I have the ability myself. How do I feel about psych nursing? I'm for it, but be careful, because no pun intended, those patients be crazy. So you really got to read people very well in psych nursing. You really got to be on your game when it comes to how people react, because psych patients aren't typically going to react in a specific manner that you think that they will. Like a logical person would think, they're probably not going to think that way, and so can be scary, can be dangerous, but can be the most exciting nursing ever. People that like it absolutely love it. People that don't like it absolutely hate it. It is not for everybody. If it's something that you're into, definitely get into it. But it's something like it's like one of those things, like if you think you'll like it, you'll probably like it. If you think I might want to give it a try, you probably won't like it. So it's definitely not for everybody. But psych nursing, can be a lot of fun. You're definitely going to hear some stories in psych that like you just never thought you would ever hear. It's crazy. I had a psych rotation when I was in nursing school, and I had an individual who convinced me that I was the one like not following along, and they told me a word to Google that doesn't exist because the government doesn't want it to exist. And I Googled that word, and Google didn't even say like, did you mean? It just didn't exist. And I thought, whoa, and it sort of blew my mind for about 3-4 seconds, and then I thought, wait a minute, I'm on a psych unit. Maybe I should slow down a little bit. So, it is what it is. Tun, I actually want to ask a question about a bully nurse. How do you deal with them? I'm still a student at acute care. One of the RNs there is like, how come you don't know this is and that?
How come you don't know this and that?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I am tired. If it happened again, I'm thinking to talk back or report them to management. So
they're bullying him.
Right,
him
right.
Or him or her. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to.
Tuntun's a boy.
Okay.
I follow his channel. Anyways, do you have an instructor, a clinical director? Do you have someone like that? I would go to your clinical instructor first, because your clinical instructor typically knows these nurses on the units and typically has uh, like a report with them and can say, hey, this should be your next step. Hey, maybe we need to separate you and them. Maybe we need to do
Move
this
and
move you somewhere else. If you have a clinical director or a clinical instructor,
go to them.
that's who I would go to. And like I said, clinical directors and instructors, they're not paid for this through the facility. They're paid through the school. So that would be your first bet. But they also know these nurses. There's a reason why they are the clinical director for that, floor or hall or whatever it is. So I would talk to them about it first. And I would go to them early. And I would go to them, and by early, I don't mean like early in the day. I mean like early before you know something's going to happen. And I would go to them and say, hey, clinical director, I have this nurse. Me and them have had disagreements. Here's what's happened. And they'll say, okay, well, today I'm going to put you here. We're not going to do this. Clinical instructor's aware. Okay, yeah, that's your best bet, is to just keep reporting to your clinical instructor. In my experience, and as ugly as this sounds, in my experience, when a student begins to go to management of the facility, it doesn't end well, because that clinical instructor is sort of that voice between student and management. So the best bet is to go to the instructor and just keep going to the instructor. Because,
like, hey, this is still going on.
Yeah, hey, this is still going on. But
even though they're not supposed to be around me, this is still happening.
But I'm so itchy to fight back.
I would be the same way.
It's not going to end well for the student. It's not. I've seen it played out. I have seen it played out, and you may be 1,000% in the right, but you're the student, and it's not going to end well. Just keep going to that clinical instructor and say, hey, clinical instructor,
this is
what's happening. I know that I've talked to you about this before, but please don't fight back. You are not going to end well if you fight back. It's not, and it's terrible. And it's bad to say it that way, but think about it like if you're in like a military setting and the nurses are all soldiers and management is their leader. They're going to stick together, and you're sort of that outsider trying to, I know that it could be them being mean to you, but
you're kind of the fresh bait.
Yeah, you're coming in.
Newbie.
You're coming in as an outsider, and they're all together.
They're all the officers, and you're the you're the fresh blood.
So just keep going to your clinical instructor, and it's terrible to say it that way, because she is not only the problem with me. She even told my classmate, don't change PPE too many times. It costs $6. I don't see how they would know cost, to be honest with you, because I figured that would be supply or central. Well, It depends on what you call it. Central Supply or, somebody like that would be the ones in charge of it.
Then that classmate needs to
But
go
why
to
would
the
you
instructor
not?
too.
Why would you not change your PPE? Like during one single visit, you're changing PPE, or like going from room to room to room to room. I mean, you change your PPE through each patient. You'll go through a lot of PPE. That makes no sense. I don't know why, but please don't fight back. Please just as bad as it sounds, continue to go to your clinical director or your clinical instructor. It's not. They are there. The clinical instructor is there, one, to teach, and also to
Be your voice.
protect you as the student nurse. Yes, it is not costing her money. Every time you put on PPE, it's not costing her $6 out of her check. She does not have $6 just pa-ching, pa-ching. Oh, a student put on my PPE. Now my check instead of 112 is 106. But yes, what she could be worried about, or I say, well, he said she. What she could be worried about is like supply has come to them and said, "Hey, please don't use so much." That could be happening. It's nurses eat their young. Learn as much as you can from the bully nurse, whoever.
I mean, she could be doing it because, I can see that too.
They
She's
do
showing
eat their
you
young, quickly.
that they're going to be doing later on. Because you're going to have that.
Yeah. I don't want to sound ugly when I say this. I've never ran into a bully situation.
Yeah, but you're also a male in a female-dominated practice.
Well, so is he.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's in a real situation. He's probably not going to be bullied.
Yeah.
Other females will be bullied, not him.
Yeah. So I don't have an answer for if I was bullied. I don't know. It's not happened, so I don't know. But definitely learn. Yeah, definitely learn as much as you can.
So how about you go?
I bet if that was said, I bet that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
That would have been escalated quickly. But I don't know. I do know that nurses who have not nurses, but students who have people skills that aren't quite they're socially they're not the coolest. When I was in nursing school, those nurses were they had a hard time because I don't know the social lacking. I guess I don't know.
Well, you can't help you're Mr. Popular either.
I don't know. I'm not Mr. Popular. The homeschool kids. Of course, I didn't go to school with any homeschool kids. I went to school with bill-paying adults, which was no fun. But yes, learn and do your best not to engage. Please don't fight back. But are you back in school again, or is this still the first time? Because didn't you leave school time? I feel like you said you had left school. Let's see. I know there's one coming through. I have seen it. I have never dealt with it. One time I had a very, very intelligent nurse who was much smarter. Okay, all right, good deal, Ton. I had a nurse that was very intelligent and did eventually making her way up the ladder to like corporate management. Incredibly intelligent woman, but terrible skills when it came to delegating tasks to the CNAs. And she jumped on. I was team lead, and she jumped on my CNA and was just like fussing at her. And I had to. That one I had to step in and was like, "You need to stop," you know. And of course, CNA thanked me. You know, the poor girl that was CNA. You know, she just stood there and took it. She didn't feel like she could do anything because the senior nurse was just jumping on her, and it was over. I think she had left a bedpan in the bed and went to get a drink or something like that. It was something like that. It wasn't the most harmful of things. It was probably uncomfortable as I'll get out for the patient. But and that was the most bullying that I've ever dealt with, and it was more than just that with that CNA and that nurse. But we ended up separating them, and then that nurse ended up, you know, like I said, she was incredibly intelligent, and she was on her way up anyways, and made her way to upper management. So luckily that problem sort of worked itself out. But glad to see that you're still a student, Tantan.
And then now, the fight with the nurse isn't.
Oh, I was not part of that at all.
But they do it. And you had to go over there.
We had some. I had some nurses get into it not too long ago, and I had to go to another facility, our sister facility, our sister unit, and work the floor. So it was so much fun. Working with guys is much easier than working with females. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know that it's any easier.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I've noticed, Deb? Is working with men, things get done slower, and working with women, things get done quicker. Maybe that's my experience. But I don't know about easier, but things get done quicker when working with women. Things get done quicker. But, you know, part of why I may leave my hospital is because the techs are lack of better word, trained. And just let the nurse abuse you. Yeah, training, especially right now, training is really hard because of the shortage and the pandemic. It's hard to find people to train somebody for the length of time that you actually need to be trained for your position.
He said he's saying that they were trained to just let the nurses use and abuse you, not trained.
Yeah, but I think it's because of they're trained just to do what they say, simply because they don't have the time to just fix it. I think.
A friend told me you walk out of someone while you at work.
Yeah. But you gotta be careful walking out because you can get in trouble for abandonment, neglect on your patients. Yep. So you gotta be real careful with just walking out. Yeah, you gotta have experience as to who you can talk to and who you can't talk to aggressively. You know, it is what it is. Hello, Samuel. Good to see you this evening.
Oh, just past. Congrats.
Brand new. Congratulations. Yeah, on Friday. That was yesterday. Well, in 30 minutes, it'll be 2 days ago. Do I have any advice? What advice do you need? Like where to start? CNA. Where to start work, or like what's about to happen when you go to work? Things like that.
Ask away.
Ask away, Samuel. Yeah, I'll answer new CNA advice. I haven't been a new CNA since 2008 or 9. 2009. Yes, Deb.
I won't disagree.
Yeah.
But
men work slower. Yeah, I feel like that's true. I feel like men get it done at a slower pace. Women get it done at a quicker pace. But
there's more drama with women.
I personally haven't had drama with women.
Because they know better.
Yeah. They know better.
Because wife don't play.
Oh. It took me a second. I did not understand what you were talking about there for a second. But yes, Samuel, what kind of questions do you have as far as what kind of advice do you need? What should I expect trying to get a job as a CNA?
You're gonna get one.
You're gonna
fast.
get one. I mean, just apply.
You're gonna get one.
How many CNA jobs are out there
Currently,
right now?
Oh god.
Let's see how many CNA jobs there are. Because I imagine that there are millions. Certified nursing assistant, and let's do the United States. So Samuel, right now there's 185,898 jobs on Indeed. You will have absolutely no trouble finding a job. Just apply somewhere. I got recruited out of my CNA program because we had recruiters come to our class because everybody's desperate for CNAs. Yeah, I would say your best bet would be to go somewhere, talk to friends who are already CNAs, or talk to friends who've heard of good places to work that are local to you, and I would go there. Don't chase the money, don't chase the bonuses.
Would LPN get it? Yeah.
Yeah, LPN
any
get a
nurse
job.
is gonna get a job fast right now.
Yeah, LPN's gonna get a job fast right now also. But my advice would be don't chase the bonuses. Chase the job that
you want.
That you would want. Like if you want a place that's going to treat you well, you want a place that's going to, maybe not pay as much, but definitely give you the supplies that you need, things like that. Just talk to people locally, and chances are they're hiring. To a PCT program after a CNA. So you are evidently not in North Carolina because PCT is before CNA in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So there's absolutely no problem with it. But in North Carolina, the PCT is not certified and the CNA is certified. But yes, an LPN right now getting a job, shoot, all you got to do is put your resume on Indeed. I have a resume on Indeed that's probably 10 years old, and I daily get emails about job offers. I got a text 2 days ago for more money than I make now with better hours from a company that I used to work for years ago.
Begging him.
So, yes, you'll get a job right now.
It just said he has to be a CNA to be a PCT.
Okay. So, yeah, a patient care tech. Yeah, so, is it the same in the U.S.? In Canada, I cannot work in another province after re-register.
Oh.
No, Ton, we have compact. And some of Canada has compact. I think he's in British Columbia, so they must not be compact. Must be like the East Coast people. No, I'm in North Carolina. I could go to Colorado. I could go to not very many of the northern states because they're not in the compact. I could go up to West Virginia, Ohio, Michigan, a lot of the central states, a lot of the southern states. I think all of the southern states except for Texas are in the compact. I could move around in like all but 19 states in the United States and have a job. And wouldn't have to do anything but let them know I'm coming. But parts of Canada are in compact. And I'm not sure which parts because I do not know the Canadian geography very well. Sorry about that. Yeah, and in your state, you must be a CNA to be a PCT. So, a little bit different than North Carolina. with the because the PCT, like I said, is not certified in North Carolina, and the CNA is certified in North Carolina. So, but yes, definitely, I would go ahead and get it. Yeah, what's it gonna hurt? Go ahead and get it. What is it? A 1 semester program, 3 month program, something like that? Yeah, go ahead and do that thing. Do I think hospitals may eventually phase out CNAs and have nurses do total care? No,
not here.
I don't think so. I don't think CNAs are ever going anywhere. I think that the title might change. I think that the job role might change. I think that as LPNs get phased out of, wow, only different by $2.
Oh gosh.
I wouldn't even bother then. But so yeah, North Carolina has a CNA too. Yes. But what was I talking about? The phasing out CNAs. I don't think they'll ever get phased
and
out.
And changing LPNs.
No, I don't think that they'll ever get phased out. I think that they'll get the job role change. I think they might just go back to PCTs. Well, not in the hospital, because I think that the billing would be
certified.
You'd have to be certified, but yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. In Canada, it's only a $2 difference between a CNA and an LPN. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. North Carolina does have a CNA.
I wonder if in Canada they do more, though. If a CNA does more.
They probably do. They would have to.
If they do more like a LPN does.
Yeah, they'd have to do more tasks. Yes, North Carolina has a CNA too, and they also have a CNA plus 4. I was a CNA plus 4. And you could do 4 nursing tasks. And I can't remember what they were. I could do Foley. I could change a bandage on wound care. I could DC a IV, and I could hook up oxygen. I could not turn it on, and I could not do anything else, but I could hook it up.
You loved wound care.
That was my CNA plus 4. I did love wound care.
You still love wound care.
I still love wound care.
If he was going to do anything,
I would go straight to wound care.
In a different setting, it would be wound care.
Like solely wound care. Nothing else but
That's
solely
wound
care.
Is wound care.
What would happen? Telehealth. I did telehealth. I did telehealth as substance abuse.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. And I personally hated it. It was not for me. However, an individual that needs to stay home, an individual that doesn't want to go to an office, things like that, telehealth is definitely for that. But I did telehealth for a little bit in my current role, actually, in the very, very beginning of the pandemic. I hated it. It was not for me.
Kids hated it.
Yes, because I was in the basement, and they
could hear him.
Dad, we need you. I'm on the phone.
That was the worst. Cause
yeah.
They would hear him, and they knew he was home. They just wanted him. Trying to do homework with them. And
yes, but I have not done telehealth since then. Is it easy work as a CNA? And yeah, so the work, I went to work as a CNA and went to school for LPN. The work is not easy. You're going to be lifting, bending, turning, cleaning, smelling, looking at. It's not easy work, but you could definitely do it and go to school. Yeah. I mean, that's no problem. I did that. It is what it is. Yes, he is in British Columbia, on the West Coast. I can do those along with trach care. Wow. And casting. Wow, there's a lot you can do, Cody. Yeah.
Is it 2? You're a CNA too?
No, he's in Michigan as a CNA at the hospital.
He said he was like a CNA too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like our equivalent to a CNA too. But that's a lot more than the
Then
North
you
Carolina.
could do as a CNA +4.
Yeah, that's a lot more than a North Carolina CNA 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's
lot
more than
more.
you could do when you were a 4.
Yeah, that's a lot more I could do than when I was a +4. I heard that other CNAs like male CNAs because they do a lot of the work. Yes.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
I don't think that they like to overwork the male CNAs.
They like to hire male CNAs.
Oh, he's a critical care technician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you want to work, do a good job, but not be overworked. A lot of your women, going back to Deb's point earlier, are going to want to do it themselves, and they're just going to want you to like turn the patient over at the end of it. So you're not going to be overworked. You're probably going to do more different tasks than most, but hopefully they'll trade off with you. They'll say, hey, if you help me pull this one up, I will help you clean that one up, or whatever it may be. So there's a camaraderie when it comes to the CNAs. If you get a good facility, again, get a good facility. Don't just chase the money. Find a good place to go. And there's a lot of good facilities out there for CNAs to go to. But yeah, as long as you find a good one, and like I said, talk to your local people as to what's a good one. You'll be fine. It won't be too bad. I feel like Cody did already tell me that he's a critical care tech, and I have just forgotten. He's probably already told me that, and I forgot because I do that.
He forgets a lot.
From time to time. I remember everything.
That's a lie.
I remember every single thing.
No.
No. I remember that Tun right there is probably the longest subscriber to this channel. He's been there a long time. Since I was in the F-150. Long time.
What about from the Toyota?
Yeah, probably that dude. I don't know. Maybe. Your TikTok vote is starting to go the other way now. I've had 12 votes. Most of them say no.
It wasn't like TikTok.
Fantastic foundation for LPN school.
That's good.
Well, that is good. School is going to be school is going to be hard no matter how good your foundation is. School is just hard.
Maybe you don't want to talk about this. I find most patient.
Let me read. I'm going to have to read that one again. Out loud. Maybe you do not want to talk about this live. I find most patient. I cannot hear lower lung sounds. When it comes to sounds, adventitious sounds, you really got to place that. Like you got to like feel around. I do because I don't use my stethoscope as much as I used to. But you really got to feel around and find like a non-bony prominence, like a meaty area, if you will. And then when you're on the back, you really want to like find a rib and then go lower or go higher. And I know that they say that you got to like count, the interstitial spaces, interstitial spaces, I think is the proper term. I never really counted. I would find one, and I'd be like, all right, there's one. I don't hear anything, and I would go down one. I don't hear anything, and I would go down another one. Oh, there it is. Or I would start going up, or I'd start, following those interstitial spaces. Oh, there's a good spot right there. Oh, I hear it good right there, and then go down. And you want skin on bell. It took me a while to figure out what the name of that was. You want skin on bell, and then you want to make sure that your bell is, if it turns, it's turned to the correct one. One of them hears, I believe, high-pitched sounds. One of them hears low-pitched sounds, and then sometimes you got one that's like for peds and one's for adults. And you want to make sure you got the right one, and you got to like tap that joker, and make sure like, oh, I'm hearing the high sounds, I'm hearing the low sounds.
Also, if it's that, maybe get
like a battery amplified one. They do sell battery amplified ones.
Yeah, or
they are not
better,
cheap.
or a better stethoscope, because you had a cheap one and we bought you a better one.
Yeah, I bought a cheap one from the drugstore and it was miserable, and I think I paid $8 for it.
And then
I bought a good one.
Actual
it was a workwear store. Scrubs is what they sold.
Yeah, and so when we bought one there, and
paid $45 for that one.
But it came with something else too. I don't remember what it came with. But.
I don't remember. But I paid $45 for that one, and it worked much better than my $8 one that I used from the drugstore.
And luckily, our middle child actually has breathing difficulties, so he gets lots of practice on her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you have somebody at home that you can like continually practice on, it doesn't matter if they breathe fine or not. It's just the fact that you can practice with them.
What do I have? Cody, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm just gonna say blue. I don't know. I have not the slightest idea. It's blue. I don't know. I don't know.
It's broken now too.
Kids have broken. I remember the nurses at dialysis. They would come in like, "Oh, I got a Littman. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. What's yours?" I don't know. It's blue. It works. Or I think that one was black. It's black. It works. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. One lady had one that was battery powered, and I think hers was Littman. Let me see if
it's right there.
There we go. And I know it was over. I know she paid over $100. Yes. Yeah. It was something like that one there, the $300 one. I don't think it was that one because that doesn't look right, but that sort of looks right there. The $350 right there. Well, this was years ago. I don't think she had the phone app, but it looked like that. Like, why do I need to know the name of that? It's battery powered. It works. I don't know.
Yours is not battery powered.
Mine is not battery powered. Mine is blue. Has its case. Has a carrying case. It does what it does. I don't know. I did have to buy a good one when I was in dialysis because you had to feel the thrill and I always forget what that's actually called. The thrill and the whoosh. I don't know. If you need to listen to heart sounds, which spot would you choose to listen? What am I listening for? Like, there's multiple heart sounds. I just search around till I find it. Thank you, Jenna. Yes. Feel the thrill. The bruit and the thrill. Even though it's got a T in it. I guess it's a French word. You know, Jenna, I was in dialysis for a while, and I cannot remember the names of those things. And it doesn't bother me that I can't remember the names of them. You would think I would since I was in dialysis for so long. Mitral. I remember. I need to listen to heart sounds. Which spot would I choose? I just remember, like, if it sounds wrong, change direction.
Oh, he said it's hard to find.
Hard
for mitral for a female patient.
The best I have found, and let me be honest with you on this one, I've probably listened to like 4 or 5 female heart rates, heart sounds. Like, not very many, because I've never been in a field where I had to hear heart sounds for anything other than like amiodarone or Dig or something like that. And typically it was on a male. And I don't know if they gave me that assignment because I'm a man. But get them to lay on their back. Get them to lay down, and they're probably going to be uncomfortable, so I'll get out so that you can sort of get in there. As, politically correct as that sounded. And if they are uncomfortable with that, try to get them to sort of lean over and go the back way. But you're not going to hear very much that way either. Yeah, there's no winning. Not with that. That's a good question for RN Scrub, actually. That is a fantastic question for RN Scrub.
Because they will demonstrate.
Because I don't think I can show another channel while I'm on YouTube. Check out RN Scrub.
He's tagged them up at the top.
Yeah, I have tagged them. But check them out. They are fantastic. It's a husband and wife group. They are fantastic at doing. Let me just see if they have a video on it. But registered RN channel. Let me see. I've never heard of that one. Her name is called Sarah. Let me see.
You put Scrub YouTube.
Oh. Hold on, I got another question. How would you look for an applicable pulse with heart sounds?
You would not watch that one.
I can't do eyes. Applicable. Jenna, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am the worst when it comes to heart sounds. And if I don't hear something that I recognize, I get somebody else. And I'll say, like, to my charge nurse, hey, I really need you to check this out. Because I feel like I'm not hearing what I need to be hearing. Things like that. And I haven't had to do it in so long that it's not second nature to me. Yeah, I can't do eyes. Which is terrible to say, but I just don't do applicable heart sounds anymore. So I did it in school and very little in work, but I'm not the one
to ask.
Yeah, I'm just not. I hate to be that way, but I'm not. I think I can search his channel. Oh.
There's a heart assessment.
Yes, RN Scrub has a fantastic heart assessment from 6 years ago. And it's
on a female. So it's showing you how.
And it is on a female. A dressed female. So
and it's his wife, so.
You're not going to have to.
I was going to say, because when they do it on me, it's always right here. That's how it's always like.
Sort of up top.
Above.
Yeah. But I will have to let you search it yourselves. Because I'm not sure if I can show other channels or other channels' videos on a live. And I don't really want to get dinged for anything. I would just say, check out RN Scrub with their heart assessment. It is called heart assessment.
Yeah. And they had other heart videos on there.
Yeah, they had other heart videos. Fantastic channel for task.
Anytime you've ever had to check for heart sounds or pulse or anything, it's always when it's been something is wrong.
Yeah.
So you're listening for a sound
or not a sound.
Yeah. That's the only time you've ever had to really listen for sounds.
Yeah,
So
don't ask me to do an EKG. I mean, I could do it, but I don't know what any of that mess means.
he hated those. That was his worst part in school, was reading EKGs.
Was reading those EKGs, yeah.
I think I did better at reading them than you did.
Telemetry, I can sort of understand. I mean, it's been years since I've had to do telemetry, but EKG, I don't know. Telemetry, I'm okay with. I understand what's bad on telemetry. So many nursing channels. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm getting tired. In what kind of situation do you check dorsal pedals and posterior tibial pulse? Sometimes it takes too long to find. Do they got socks on when you do it? You check them any head to toe assessment, or at least you should be documenting that you're checking them. Anytime you're worried about pulse at all, or any head to toe assessment. Yeah, pretty much any assessment, because you have to document it. Anything you have to document, you want to physically check. No bare feet. I like the period between no and bare feet. So you're not saying no bare feet like no, I'm not doing bare feet. You were saying no, they have no socks on, bare feet. Yeah, anytime you have to document it, you have to do it. So yeah, just sort of hunt around. If they're swollen real bad, like if you got somebody with heart failure, you really got to check it then. And even then, you're going to be like smashing in, and they're going to have edema, and it's going to stay like that and slowly sort of work its way back out. Yeah. But it's no fun. But yeah, anytime you have to document it, you have to check it. I'm sure that by now everybody's seen the Facebook memes of people like, or the nurses are like, biggest lie told in nursing is respirations 20, because no one counts respirations. My instructor heard me. This was before the Facebook meme. I hope I get to go back online.
It should. It's not.
Oh.
Should pop right back up.
Let's see if we pop back up. Let's give it a few seconds. Are we still online? Are we back online? We went out for a little bit. Am I still here? Give me a thumbs up if I'm still here. Back. Okay, good. Thank you. The internet going out kind of messed me up. Thank you. I was off for a little bit. Pedal pulses.
You were talking about that meme.
The meme. Yeah. So my instructor heard me say 20 respirations, and I was in the room with another student. She was like, "Oh, I counted 26. Did you really count 20?" And I said, "No, I didn't count 20. They just looked like they weren't in distress." So I went with 20. And my instructor heard me say that. Oh, she was mad. She was not very happy. Mr. Chris, another comment like that and you're out of here. It was a good time. Back in the day. Oh my gracious, it's gone real big. As it is now Sunday. Or at least for us it is Sunday. Double check here, everything looks good. What is going on, Anthony? Nothing is going on here. No, I'm not. I'm in substance abuse. No long-term care facilities for me. No, sir. Not near a bit. I've worked in long-term care. I just don't think it's for me.
Not with kids.
No.
And being able to be at their stuff.
How similar is LTC to Med Surg? Depends on the long-term care. Like if you're in an acute long-term care facility, they could definitely be pretty similar. But if you're, they're pretty well the same. Not the same, but they're pretty well similar. They out of units in a hospital, they are probably the closest to being the same. Long-term care and Med Surg. If you go to a hospital, they're probably the closest to being the same. I've worked in the medical field since 2009 or 8. So we're running up on 14 years, 13 years.
Oh, God. Are we really? 09.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bud, you doing all right? I don't know where to work. I don't like LTCs, and I don't like acute care either. Have you ever thought about going to a doctor's office? There are plenty of doctor's offices that are specialized. So a doctor's office might be good. 3rd semester nursing school. Never worked in medical. Okay. Is there anywhere you're looking to go? Never worked in medical. 3rd semester nursing school. How's clinical going? Have you enjoyed clinical so far?
That's the big question.
Yeah, clinical is what's gonna sort of
That's
tell
where
you.
you're gonna learn if you're gonna like it or not.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna figure it out. Like, oh, maybe I do like this. Maybe I don't like this. Never worked in medical. Clinical is a lot. Clinical is too much. Oh wow, y'all just started clinical. We started clinical like our 2nd week. That COVID really messed y'all up. The class that's going on right now, COVID really hurt y'all. That's no good.
Yeah, they pushed everything off back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, nurses do a lot. Started with 38 students and now only 20 are left.
Ooh.
My class started with 30 and 9 graduated, I think.
No, 12.
I thought we were in the single digits. Started with 30 and 12 graduated.
12 or 13. There wasn't many of y'all.
Yeah, not very many. Okay, not working the hospital after LPN school if I can't. Kind of feel like I've been there, done that. U of M. That would be cool to do a post-heart transplant clinic.
Oh.
That would be pretty cool. That like a post-op sort of deal.
You'd
That
love
would
that.
be pretty cool. And you'd have hours similar to what I have now because the physicians like to go early in the morning. So you'd be like 3 a.m. to 11. or something like that. Well, of course, it depends on your facility. If you get a provider that, wants to show up at 7 a.m., then you're going to work till like 4. But, third semester and started clinicals 3 weeks ago and they graduate in April. Yeah, they're really neglecting y'all on the clinicals because of the COVID, and that sucks. That sucks bad. I wish that they did not. Private schools are easy to pass? I did not realize private schools were easy to pass, but I went to community college myself. It was not easy to pass clinicals, or clinical science. Community college. Clinical science is a laboratory in Boston. Why that popped in my mind, I don't know. Oh, gracious. Michigan. Look at that, 73 people.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Doing pretty good.
I hear something in the hallway, but I don't know.
Do you think that we have a child that is awake?
No, I think she would have come in here.
Hmm.
I think we got a ghost in the hallway.
We don't have a ghost in the hallway. Maybe I should take a poll. Do we have a ghost in the hallway? No idea what field to work in yet. Hopefully clinical will help you, Anthony. Can I share an interesting story from job experience?
And which one?
What kind of story and what job? Like long-term care, dialysis, substance abuse?
Or just any experience nursing wise?
Yeah.
You've had experiences outside of your job.
When I was in the DICU.
In that poll. Because we already know that's a no.
We already know that's a no. Is that what I did? No. There we go.
Do we have a ghost?
We have a ghost in the house. Enter.
Any experience.
Any experience.
Definitely the football game is one of the experiences.
There was a person died in the parking lot of a football game that our oldest daughter was cheering for. And I did compressions on them in the parking lot.
You and a good friend of ours.
While the police stood around and watched and would not let me borrow a flashlight so I could see if their eyes were doing anything. I was one time on my way back from the morgue after one code, only to find that another one of my patients had coded. I heard the alarm go off over the overhead, and I knew exactly where I was going. Like, they did not announce the room, but I knew exactly the patient that it was because I was expecting it. So I've had multiple codes.
If he was on shift and somebody was close to dying, they were going to die.
Yeah, it just seemed that way. I've had old people fight me.
A lot.
I've had old people fight each other.
A lot.
Do
you not hear it in the hall?
I don't hear anything. I don't hear a thing.
There's like a ping sound, like it's like hitting the light or something.
No, there's no ghost in the house.
The poll says yes.
Casper is in the house, the friendly ghost. There's no nothing.
Okay, whatever.
So things like that, yeah, I mean, definitely done that. I've had patients come after me. I had one patient throw a telemetry box at me one time while I had to wait on police to show up at the unit because they had done flipped out and threw a telemetry box where they were really angry and like punching people, and they had a telemetry box, threw it at me. That was definitely the best one. I had one patient one time. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, like it's these nurses sitting at the nurses station just typing, and there's a naked guy on the ceiling above them. One time we had a patient that somehow had stashed something. So the toilets in hospitals, they don't have the tanks, or at least ours. They just have a pipe that runs out of the wall. And so somehow this patient had stashed something. I'm going to say something because I'm not exactly sure what it was. It was a substance of some sort in the toilet. And they were already in some trouble. And when the police came because they were getting discharged, they told the charge nurse, like, don't flush the toilet because my stash is in there. And it was like in the toilet, like without the tank, sort of like in the bendy part of the bowl, I guess is what you call it. So seeing stuff like that, and that was at a hospital. That wasn't even in the substance abuse.
Oh, about the man falling on you.
The man falling
did
on
home
me.
health care.
Oh, he just slipped out of a wheelchair and fell on me.
I know, and you had to push
Oh, I had to
home.
hold him for forever and call life alert.
His life alert thing.
Yeah, that took forever for the fire department to show up. I mean, in reality, it didn't take but about 2-3 minutes.
No, it took a while because I called you were late, and I was calling you to see where you were.
And somebody fell out of a wheelchair on me.
Not a small person.
No. So much fun.
My car's not loaded?
Yeah, they are. They're just taking a minute. I'm trying to see the whole pole. Went on one with a COVID patient because they kept having high circuit pressure on the vent, and it went pop off. D-stat to 25.
Ugh.
I bet that was absolutely no fun. Can't believe y'all think we have a ghost. We ain't got no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Oh, you can't sing. You cannot sing. That is one of the rules of the live stream. There's no ghost.
Are they awake downstairs?
No. There is no ghost.
Well, something dinged in the hallway.
It's fine. Oh, my back. That hurted my back.
Let's see if she's up then.
Alright, go see if our baby child is up.
Cause something in the hallway's good.
Our babyest child. Even if there is a ghost, it's Casper. He's a friendly ghost.
I like ghosts.
No, I've never regretted being a nurse. Maybe like for the shift. Oh, I'd ever become a nurse. But in reality, no, I've never regretted becoming a nurse.
Ghosts, you know that.
Used to watch that show, Ghost Hunters.
Love ghosts.
Good old Ghost Hunters. So no, never have I ever regretted becoming a nurse. Only when I quit. Every day. At work. Because I quit a lot. Or I try to buy scrubs.
Uh-huh.
I regret becoming a nurse when I try to buy scrubs. Come from a computer science background, and nursing is less stressful than computer science.
I could see that.
I don't know. I have no idea how stressful computer science is.
Well, it depends on what field you were in.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what part of computer? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Very true. Oh, shoot. Yeah, well, I'll talk about what we get paid. Well, brag about it to each other. What do they say about their pay rate? No, male scrubs are not accommodating. I mean, we just say, hey, look who got paid. I think that's why there's so many, like, nursing paychecks on YouTube. Because so many, I have no idea why, but so many nurses are just like, look at how much I make. And they show everybody. Like, I don't know why. But they just do. So yeah, we've definitely discussed our pay rates plenty of times, and discussed how much they're taking out of our checks, and discussed how much insurance is, and yeah, those are fairly open conversations. Yep. We're at 11 years and decided to quit. 11 years, that's a long time.
They do it to get more views.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do to get the views. But I think, I don't know, but like no other field, even with people on YouTube, there's no other field where they're like, look at my paycheck. You know, like you don't have like a line cook out there like, look at my line cook paycheck or anything like that.
Like, cause yeah.
But it just seems like nurses are so willing to share their paychecks. I don't know why. I have no idea why nurses are so willing to share their paychecks. It makes no sense to me. Oh, excuse me. I'm not going to show my paycheck, but I've definitely discussed how much I make with my friends, yeah. I say my friends, my colleagues. I don't think it's really the same. Maybe like per year. You know, like oh, I've been here for 5 years, I get this. Oh, I've been here for 7 years, I get this. Or I've been here for 10 years, I get this, you know. I think the increases are fairly the same. I don't think that there's a, you know, you take two people, one has been here 1 year and they got hired the exact same day and
Similar. He means similar.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely similar.
Yeah, but like if you got like two nurses that got hired the exact same day with the same level of experience, the next year they're not going to be making, you know, drastically different wages. They're probably going to be making the same dollar amount. Right, yeah, I got you.
Within the same dollar.
Yeah, within the same dollar amount. So it's not like you get paid so much more because they like you or whatever. It appears that in my region of Michigan, LPNs 27 as new grads. That's pretty good, but what's the cost of living? 27 is pretty dang good. When I started working, I made $16.50. was my new grad pay. But this was, of course, before COVID, and the shortage wasn't as short. And how much time did I spend? How much time? Oh, let me read this again.
How much time do you spend a week for YouTube?
Like making my videos, doing my research and stuff, and the editing. I would say probably on average. I would say average an hour per video for about a 5-minute video. Probably about right. Once you do editing, thumbnail, research, things like that. Probably the Thursdays, the nurses on Thursday, those take hours. Those take several hours each time. Probably about 3 hours per one of those videos, and they're like my shortest. In Florida, an LTC LPNs are making $26.50 to $29 an hour. 2-bedroom apartment is $650 there. My house payment is not much more than that. Payment mortgage. Yeah, our mortgage is not much more than that, $650. But yeah, it's about an hour per video, and then the Thursday videos are several hours because you got to find news articles, and then I like to find articles that when you see the article, you can very quickly tell who wrote it or like where it came from, because in my mind that's sort of like a bibliography, and I'm not going to get in trouble for it. Of course, I probably will. I'm not a lawyer. But those take longer, and then you got to edit them together, and then thumbnail and whatnot. So probably about 3 hours on Thursdays videos, and then about an hour every other video. But I don't do it in one.
Sitting.
One sitting, yeah. Two-bedroom apartment. 1-bedroom apartment is $1,100 to $2,000. Oh my gracious! You're getting like 3 times what we pay our mortgage for a 1-bedroom apartment.
1-bedroom apartment?
Yes, that is ridiculous. Down in Florida.
I mean, we love Florida. Don't get
Wait a
me
minute. We love Disney in Florida.
We're going to Universal soon.
We've never been to Florida.
Yes, I have.
I've never been to Florida. I've been to Orlando a few times.
We're going to Universal soon.
Or Kissimmee.
We're going to Universal soon.
So I can't speak on Florida. Yes.
Yes. Our middle is obsessed with Harry Potter, so we've got to go to Universal soon.
Took me 3 to 4 days to make one video.
About one
each day, yeah. Florida man beers in my fridge. I do not drink beers, but I feel like if I did, it would have to be something like Florida man. Because the name of it just makes you... Do you just like automatically start getting into like a Florida mentality?
Do you not hear that?
What? There's no
It's a clinking
ghost.
noise. You gotta tell me you heard that.
There is no ghost.
Did you not hear it?
There is no ghost.
Did you not hear it?
There is
You
no
heard
ghost.
it. You heard it. You just
Hold on, we got another question.
Okay, you heard it though.
There's no ghost. British Columbia, between 28 and 31. Houses are above 1 million. That's crazy. Yeah, my house was not $1 million. I have heard the term Imperial IPA. I don't know what that means. I know it's related to the Florida Man beer, but I am so sorry. I do not drink. I don't understand what that is. It was a nurse extern. Is that like a graduated nurse that's not licensed yet? Is my guess. Something in the water over here. You don't want Florida water beers. These people are crazy. You said it first.
Hey, North Carolina people are crazy too.
The thing I think that makes people crazy in Florida is the weather is so nice in Florida that you get people that from all over the United States that show up to Florida for the weather, and they also bring their crazy, you know. So you get like the craziest of every single state that shows up in Florida because the weather's nice. Just my thought process, probably wrong.
Yeah.
I think we do have a child up because I hear steps in the hallway.
She's not up.
I'm telling you, I think we have a child up. Nurse extern, and they are students who do more than techs but less than a nurse. Okay. I have heard of graduated nurses before, but not licensed. So they were somehow graduated that they graduated a program but didn't get licensed yet.
She's not up.
Oh, you are very supportive, and I'm lucky.
Oh, who said that?
Tun.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, we got a lot of people from Florida in the chat.
She's not up. So you heard the footsteps?
No.
So you heard the guy? You said there's footsteps in the hallway.
Yeah.
Everybody heard that.
She went back.
Everybody. She wouldn't have went back to bed.
She went back to bed.
She would have came in here.
She went back
Everybody
to bed.
heard that. Everybody heard that.
She went back to bed.
No. Everybody heard that.
There's no ghost in the hallway.
He said he heard footsteps.
There's no ghost in the hallway.
Okay, so it's in the living room now. 3 Floridians here.
3 Floridians. Oh, now they're going to say what part of Florida. Where are you at? Oh, I'm in Tallahassee. Oh, I'm in Kissimmee. I'm in Miami. He might as well be from Antarctica. What is the temperature in Michigan right now?
Oh yeah, what is it right now? Let me see what.
Because we're somewhere around freezing.
We're 34 degrees here.
34, so 34 degrees here. WPB, that's gotta be. Yeah, I saw that, Tun. When you started doing those cooking videos, that mess was like, you hit 100,000 like super quick. Because I remember you were like 4,000 one day, and then the next thing I know, you were like opening your play button. I was like, how in the world did he do that
you
mess?
You have a play button?
Yeah, Tun has a play button.
Nice, Tun.
Yeah, he did a video of him opening his play button.
13
West
and
Palm
dropping.
Beach.
West Palm Beach.
13 and dropping. That mess has already been frozen.
Refreezing.
It's refreezing now. Huh? Yeah, I think it warmed up to like 51 here today.
No, it was. Hold on, I'll tell you.
It may not even been that high.
52 was the high.
52 was the high.
It's going to get down to 23 tonight.
Yeah, so if we're at 23, you're going to be negatives. Negatives at night. So this is warm. So 13 is warm.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yes,
people love food and cooking videos. But
yeah.
I remember when you opened that play button, man. That was awesome. I was like, dang.
It was -5 this morning in my car. Nope.
Is it hard to start the car at -5? 60 to 70 over here. And I bet she's wearing a hoodie right now. Like she's bundled up.
I would
she's
be
like,
too.
She's like, dang, it's like 60.
I would be too.
It's cold. Got her big Carhartt on. We'd be out there in like shorts and t-shirts.
I'd be, if I was in it, I'd be shorts and a long sleeve t-shirt. You know how I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on, we'll go ahead and show it. What does he say? You like beaches, boats. I dislike all of them. I think Anthony's wearing a hoodie and his Carhartt and his long pants right now. 60 to 70, that's skiing weather down there. Yeah, you would find out you need a battery. It'd be a good time to have the WRX because they're straight drive. You can just put it in second, just push it.
Push it.
That's what I did in my cruise if I have to.
Born and raised, if you like beaches, boats.
He says, I dislike all of them. He says, I hate them all. Yeah, we got a guy that works with me now. He's from I'm gonna say Boston. I know he's told me a million times it's not Boston, but and he
around
talks
that area.
Yeah, around that area. And he showed me a picture of his brother's house. They had like 3 feet of snow the other day. The temperature was well below freezing. Maybe not even registering. It was under a temperature. Negatives.
Pseudo Chop. What area are you from, Pseudo Chop? I know he said Florida, but
I think he said. Did he say no? Anthony Hernandez said West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
No, he just said Florida. I thought he said it too, but he just said Florida.
He just said Florida. He said born and raised.
Southwest Florida. Okay. Is that like where the watermelon farms are and stuff? Ross Chastain is a watermelon farmer, and his race car has watermelons on it.
So did you not grow up in Florida? He's saying that, born and raised, so I wonder if you grew up somewhere else.
Well, he might have still been from Florida.
Or
still hates all those things.
Hates all that stuff now.
I hate all these things, but I'm from Florida. How people with asthma deal with negative degree weather. Living in Miami. I've always heard that asthma, allergy, people that were born with like respiratory issues do better in Arizona, where it's sort of a temperate, dry area. Because Arizona typically stays about the same all year and doesn't rain but like once a whole year. It rained one day this week. It was 48. The temp slammed back down to 5 the next day. Everything was slippery.
I would just wear ice skates everywhere.
The lakes freeze up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids would love it.
What, the lakes freezing and stuff?
Especially the oldest.
Yeah. It would have been a lot of fun. But it's too late to pack everything up and move now.
Oh, we're not moving. Not nowhere where it's cold all the time.
I was just going to stop with we're not moving and just end of sentence.
You want more land.
I want more land, but I don't want to I don't want to leave my house. Like, I'll buy a farm and then we just stay living here.
Oh my gosh, that's not happening.
1 pound 10 ounces is respiratory issues. Oh. Yeah, I can imagine that the weather definitely messes with a very small baby.
We understand that.
The little respiratory issues.
We get the respiratory issues.
No. You know what happened was that winter it was on its way up from Texas, and it went all the way to Michigan, and it was like, you know what, I'm going back home, and then it went right back home. That's why it was 48 that day. It was like they were driving a car. Think that would have worked? No. Old man Winter was like, I'm driving up to Michigan. You know what? I'm turning around, and he just went back to Texas.
Yeah, your grandpa.
No, Old man Winter, like.
Yeah.
Winter, yeah.
I'm saying your grandpa would be driving like that.
I don't think cold bothers him.
No, I'm saying that's how your grandpa would drive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I took the wrong turn. Hurry up, turn around. real quick.
We're done.
We came here. That's it. Time to go.
I do like the poles though. The poles are awesome.
They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
They say we got a ghost in the house.
We do not have a ghost in the house.
It's probably the one from my work. Probably
Followed you home?
Followed me home. Said I'm coming to visit you tonight.
Terrible day. Well, guys, it is 12:40 our time. I didn't think I was going to make it to 9 p.m. So here we are at 12:40 a.m. So I am going to sign off. Thank you all for showing up. And we will hopefully do another one of these in 1 week from today on Saturday. Thank you all so much for joining us. And hopefully we will be back again, like I said, on Saturday. So we will see y'all then. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
I think I saw her close the door move.